Southeast Missouri State head coach Tom Matukewicz, 6 wins in a row for the Redhawks, up to 15th in one of the polls. One at Northwestern State, 51-16. They will host Eastern Kentucky this weekend. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and we'll go to questions.
Yeah, just happy with the win on the road. Tough road trip. I love how we started and loved how we finished. So it says a lot about this football team, and excited to get back home. It's a really quality opponent for homecoming at Houck, and a meaningful game. So should be a great week of prep.
Thanks, Coach. Tom, I'll ask one question. We'll go to you, Tom. We sort of talked about this going into the bye week. Your start 6-1 now. The only thing better would have been 7-0, right? And beating Iowa State. But just what has gone into this start to the season, and just how do you feel about your team, right now?
Well, I think I have lots of feelings, and there's lots of things you can say. If you pin me down, what is the best attribute of this football team? I would say it's consistency. That's hard to do. The world doesn't value consistency. They value intensity, but that's why you get the big ups and downs. And this football team knows that it's all about preparation and the standard of play. And they've just kind of showed up each and every week, regardless of whatever things we had to get done that week or challenges we were working through. They've shown up. And so I think that points to our leadership. I think you say, well, we have good leadership. Well, there should be evidence. And I think consistent play points back to the quality of your leadership. So hats off to our leadership council and our captains. I think they're doing a really good job leading this football team.
Perfect. Let's go to Tom Davis next. Go ahead, Tom.
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning.
You've had a roller coaster. It was interesting. You just mentioned ups and downs. Your career at SEMO has kind of been like that. It took you a while to get the ball rolling in the right direction. You did it for a couple of years, then you dropped back. Now you're back playing well. What has it taken to get from the first half of your tenure at SEMO to the second half?
I mean, hell, I don't know.
Was it hard?
Today, I've made so many mistakes. I was here 5 years before we had a winning season, but the thing we've been able to do is not keep making the same mistakes. And we've learned from them. We've went and attacked each and every problem and try to solve best we could. And you just keep working and keep getting after it. And eventually, if you solve enough problems, you end up with a good football team. And, so there's a laundry list of things. But if you look over a 5-year history, which I think is a big number, right? 5 years, no one's won more games than us than OVC. So you could say it's a little up and down, but I would say we have consistently played well, and the OVC is certainly compared to other OVC schools.
Is it harder to turn a program around that's struggling, or is it harder to keep a program going in the right direction once you turn that corner?
The part of that question you got right is it's hard.
Okay. All right.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. Division I football's hard. And, that's the lie you tell yourself is, if we get this, we could do that. But at the end of the day, what we do is hard, and you got to manage expectations, just understand what it takes. And you just got to keep getting after it.
Eastern Kentucky, outside of Iowa State, very well could be the most difficult challenge you've seen this year. They're really, really, really good. What do they do well that kind of concerns you?
Yeah, I agree. I think ultimately the first thing's players, right? I mean, if they got some good players, it's going to be a challenge, and they do. When you have an elite quarterback, you're in every game. you're not beating Bowling Green. They went and beat a FBS team if it wasn't for their quarterback. You know, he's a 5th-year guy. We faced him in 19. And so he is the key to that whole football team. And so we got to do a great job with him. But really, you look around, they got skill. They got a dominant X receiver that can high point the ball. Their slot, number 3, he's a dude. He's a number 2 in the country in punt returns. Number 21, their tailback is elite. Defensively, 33 is an outside linebacker, you know, just makes a ton of plays. They win a lot of one-on-one balls. I mean, I think Coach Walt does a great job with the culture and how hard they play and all those type of things. So it's going to be fun, man. This is a really quality opponent with some really good players.
Last question from me. You broke in a lot of new coaches this year in really important roles. Obviously, if you're 5-1, 6-1, everybody feels like everything's perfect. But what's your assessment of how this coaching staff has blended together kind of on the fly a little bit, because you got so many new faces, young guys, experienced guys, everything in between?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think the best attribute of this staff is kind of like the team. Like, there's pretty low ego throughout, and everybody just wants to do their part, you know. And so that's really been helpful. But, you know, we are trying to keep solving problems, which a lot has to do with new staff and those type of things. And so we're still a team that I think can still improve, you know, because there are new players and new coaches.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
We'll go to Jim next and then Jake. Jim, go ahead with your question.
Coach, your offense has been really balanced this year. I'm just wondering, as you prepare for Eastern Kentucky, what side of the ball do you think is going to, well, I should say, I back it up just a little bit. What side of your offense, either rushing or passing, do you think that Eastern Kentucky will probably defend better?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, they win a lot of one-on-one matchups. You know, you watch, they played 2 FBS teams and they threw a ball up in the air, and their DBs made a lot of plays in one-on-one situations. And so, you know, that's why you play. But, you know, I think they match up pretty good in the secondary with us.
And then let's go to Jake. Go ahead, Jake.
Coach, good morning. I wanted to know what it means to you. You know, you've been there a bunch of years. What is a homecoming game like, and how important is it to get a victory in front of what might be the most attended home game of the year?
It always has been. And I really appreciate that. Homecoming is such a special thing to not only the campus, but even the city and the region, you know, with the parade and all these things. I was at a Greek event I spoke at last night. And early in my career, I was pissed because I wanted to just do football and not do all this other stuff. But now, like, I really enjoy that. We have alum coming back. We're doing a bunch of, you know, former players coming by and checking our facilities out and just stuff like this. This is something to enjoy. This is what makes football so special, and homecomings. Just a great opportunity for a lot of people to come back, experience SEMO and its campus all over again, and a sense of pride, right? When you hear SEMO, what do you think? You know, everybody has an emotion tied to that word. Like, when they hear the word SEMO, what do they think? And a high tide rises all boats. I think the pride that this football team has taken in their standard of play resonates through campus and through the city and even our region. And so it means a ton for me.
Is it more of a excitement thing for the players, or have you ever viewed it as a distraction?
Yeah, it's a great question because I asked my leadership council, my captains that, and they said, Coach, it's really not a distraction. I think Friday night could be if you don't have a disciplined football team, but we do. I don't worry about that. Saturday, I'll say a little prayer before I plug my phone in for the night and hope nobody calls me that night. But the guys don't feel like it's a distraction. This is all a net positive. Just the energy on campus, it's already sold out. Like all those type of things are all just a bonus. Very thankful for it.
And Coach, just last one for me. Looking at what you guys have done so far this season, this past game, would you say it's the most complete game you've played so far?
I maybe without necessarily looking at all of it. I love the fact that we got after it in the first quarter and really dominated. And I love the fact that we really dominated in the fourth quarter, which is the play clock and the stats and all that, not in points necessarily, but just how we started and how we finished. I'd say, yes, we made some really significant plays in special teams. Really the only negative was 2 stupid penalties and 2, bust on defense that gave up 150 yards. Other than that, it was a really good day.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.
We'll go one final quick one from Jim again. Jim, go ahead.
Thanks, Kyle. I just want your thoughts very quickly, Coach, on Parker McKinney, the quarterback for Eastern.
Man, love watching. Can't wait to shake his hand. I think these are pretty similar quarterbacks, to be honest. I think what his ability to make a play, a Division I quarterback should be mobile. A Division I quarterback should be able to throw the ball. But at the end of the day, what makes you a great player is moving the chains, and his ability to create both with his legs and his arms is pretty special. He seems like a fiery guy. I love everything about him. Just can't wait to compete against him. I love the challenge. I'm going to talk to our defense like this is a great opportunity, and looking forward to facing him.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again next week.
Sounds great.